A gunman opened fire during the acceptance speech of Pauline Marois, whose Parti Québécois secured leadership of the province with a minority government September 4th. The unknown gunman killed one person, injured another, and reportedly made statements that appeared to indicate opposition to the possibility of Quebec's independence. Marois anchored her campaign on Quebec separatism, raising the profile of this emotional issue to a level not seen since a 1995 independence referendum that narrowly rejected independence for Quebec. Quebec is the largest Canadian province by land and the second largest by population after Ontario. The province alone generates $300 billion in GDP, representing nearly a fifth of Canada's total economic activity. As the center of French colonization in Canada, pro-separatist Quebecers argue that Quebec is historically and culturally distinct from the remainder of Canada, which was eventually colonized and ruled by the British until independence in 1867. As a result of this colonial history, the official languages of Canada are French and English. Canadian French speakers make up about 22% of Canada's population, and most are concentrated in Quebec. Only about 8% of total Quebecers count English as their first language, the majority of whom live in Montreal. This language and cultural division is a source of political friction, and about a third of Quebec's population supports the idea of Quebec independence from the rest of Canada. The 1995 referendum failed, but the process triggered a political crisis with reverberations that are still felt today. The most geopolitical aspect of this lies in the potential for a physical separation between the Canadian mainland and the country's eastern provinces. Although a number of proposals have been considered, including a land bridge between New Brunswick and northern Ontario, such a division would inevitably lead to questions about the viability of a unified Canada without Quebec. Furthermore, Quebec's secession would require international involvement from the United States over the question of the St. Lawrence River, which connects the Great Lakes area to global maritime shipping routes. Although Canadian population centers like Toronto export primarily to the United States, this critical connection to the global market is a geographic choke point for the U.S. Upper Midwest as well as central Canada. But there are significant drivers keeping Quebec from taking this drastic step, despite the separatist slogans of the Marois campaign. Quite simply, separation from Canada could be very costly. Quebec City and Ottawa would have to agree on a number of sensitive issues, including the status of Quebecers living in the rest of Canada or those working for the Canadian government. Quebec could also be required to pay a portion of Canada's national debt. And finally, the status of Canadian military personnel and assets in Quebec would pose a serious security conundrum for both the emergent Quebec and Canada. In addition to this host of logistical problems, Quebec would also stand to lose billions of dollars of redistributed tax income from Ottawa. Quite possibly as a result of rising awareness of these issues, the majority of Quebecers do not support the sovereignty movement. Despite having integrated the polarizing issue of separatism into the campaign, Parti Québécois only managed to secure leadership with 32% of the provincial vote, demonstrating the fractured nature of Quebec politics. However, although separation from Canada may not be an immediate or achievable goal, the Parti Québécois will be able to use the issue and the potential for resultant tension with the rest of the country to secure political gains for Quebec in Ottawa.